What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Jacob in Wisconsin. We got Tim in Green Bay. We got Carly joining us tonight in Wisconsin as well, here to talk some Packers. Of course, you know the accent here. We're down here in Tennessee, so you're stuck with me. That's just breaking news. Tennessee just got electricity. Gotta give them a round of applause. Right? There you go. How's everybody doing today?
I'm good. I got some allergies rocking, so if you guys hear me sniffing. Hey, can I tell you what I was going to tell you before we went live?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I went to what's called a Five Guys. All right?
Yeah.
I got myself a burger and a small fry. Guess how much it was?
$18. That was going to be my guess.
Actual What is that? It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was delicious. But what the is that?
Why are you complaining, Jake? It was
you
good.
Hurt me, bro.
Rolling in a dough over there.
It was good. I was shocked. I was actually shocked.
Was it that good? Did you overpay for good?
Oh, I see what you're doing.
That was really solid.
It was pretty good though. I think I overpaid for great, but yeah.
Heard it from a fan right here.
I see everybody's got green on this evening, so happy St. Patty's Day, right, to all my Irish brethren out there. I'm going to pretend like this is an important day to me, although it really isn't, to be honest with you. But we are rolling with the green Sprite tonight, all right? Hopefully y'all can.
You got hold to the wrong stuff.
2-0 for this says you have to pay all five guys. There you go. Exactly right. So, and if you guys are wondering where Emilio is, he's still down there in Puerto Rico, and just know this.
Jan almost everywhere.
That's Emilio right now. All right, so he's going to come back looking like his Mexican self. Why do you do this every time I go live?
Here's a guy.
No, it ain't. It's Mandy. It's not a guy. So,
hey, Mandy.
Tim said, breaking news. Mandy's in here. That's nice. Hey, let me see that. Can I wear that?
What you get you? What you get
prop here? Here we go. This is good podcasting, right? What do we think here?
What is that?
Some would say it's great. Not me. Anyway, get that out of here for my.
Look like my first grade teacher, bro.
You just need a little more bronzer. That's all.
Exactly. All right. People already turned the podcast off. They already skipped ahead. I ain't got none of that in my hair, do I? We're good. All right. So let's jump into some news that I thought was kind of interesting. Is Rob Demovsky put out an article earlier today. I think it was today. He tweeted it out about 9 hours ago. And listen, it goes into pretty good detail on Hobbs and that signing and all that good stuff. But the thing that I kind of took away from this article, and you guys go check it out. You can find it on my X feed there. I just quote tweeted Rob. He's got the link to the article in there. Make sure you go give it a click, a like, a retweet, all that stuff on his side. Don't worry about retweeting my tweet. But I said there's interesting info on Jaire Alexander with this article from Rob Demovsky. Quote, this is quoted in the article. Okay, says the Packers are still trying to trade him, according to team sources and a source close to the player. So this is coming out of both camps, according to Rob Demovsky. Okay. They could wait indefinitely, but most likely would prefer to get something done before next month's draft. One source said the team has not approached Alexander about taking a pay cut, and even if it did, he would not be willing to do so. So it sounds like the team said, no, we haven't asked him to take a pay cut. And then on Jaire's side, it sounds like his camp, whoever Rob talked to there, that source said he's not willing to take a pay cut. So to me,
they don't call him John Money for nothing, right?
You got that right. So it's looking like, if these sources are correct, according to Rob Demovsky here, they're looking to try to wait till the draft, like we were talking about, right? Like, let's see if we can get something on draft night. If maybe a team, let's say their top corners on their board slip past them, right? Or they're taken above them, I should say. Then maybe they'll look to, oh, hey, look, let's go try to get Jaire Alexander. Now, I promise you, if there is a legit shot at Jai getting traded, I feel like you're going to hear some rumors leading into the draft. Now, also, if I'm the Packers and the team that's looking to trade for Jaire, if there is 1, 2, 12, however many teams, I imagine they want to keep it under wraps because they don't want to tip their hand with other teams in the draft that, hey, look, they may be looking to take a corner. If it don't fall just right, their backup plan is Jaire Alexander. So, again, I'm still holding out hope that anything less than a third-round pick, I would rather have Jaire on the roster. But it sounds like this is kind of the plan. Now, let's say nobody trades for him at the draft, it sounds like there's a legitimate shot that Goody would cut him if, after the draft, if indeed he decides, hey, look, we don't want to pay what's left on that contract. We'd rather just cut bait, free up the $6 to $7 million, and just kind of move forward. They'd probably do a post-June 1 cut, I would imagine. So it's probably going to be a little bit more money freed up than that. But let's go around the horn with that topic there. To me, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, this feels like new information, or at least a few more details behind the scenes that it sounds like both camps are looking to part ways. It seems like anyway. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll start with you, Jacob. What do you think, man?
Man, it makes it tough because, I've been back and forth on the jaw reports and all that. And just when I started listening to Tim and getting excited and thinking this is going to be a happy marriage, this does seem like new information.
Things could be a lot worse. I could be a Bears fan.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. I want to kind of believe that we could have him through, but I really do think that now this is, like you said, this is new information. This is kind of something that maybe it is weird though, because like, why did he reach out to Hobbs? What is going on? Like, why haven't they even tried to make any kind of contact as far as what we're getting told for negotiations? Like, honestly, why not even just ask if he can take a pay cut? I mean, I'm pretty sure how that conversation would go, but the fact that we're not even attempting it is not a good sign in my opinion as well. I think this might bolster the opinion or the fact that Jaire Barron might look like that 23rd pick overall right now.
Tim, what do you think, man? Any does this sway your percentage any at all, or do you?
Nope.
How do you feel about this?
Nope. Still doesn't sway me. I'm still back in the 50-50 camp, I guess.
Right.
I don't think that this is like super new information. This isn't anything that we didn't already probably figure when it comes to Jaire. But I will say this. The closest I'll get to a prediction is we're not going to cut him. Like, we know the trade market is not as hot as maybe Jaire's camp wanted it to be, but I think there's teams that are willing to trade a pick, probably a pick that we're not satisfied with, but I think there's going to be teams that are willing to make a move for Jaire. So if they do in fact want to let him go, that's how it's going to happen. I don't see Goody just cutting him outright. I mean, I know it could save money on the cap and all that, but I don't see that happening. And I'm kind of leaning towards hopefully he sticks around and we see what he looks like in the secondary. That's just my thoughts.
And I'm trying to think of like precedent, right? Like when have we been in this situation where Goody was faced with, hey, let's try to trade him during the draft, and if we don't trade him, we'll be potentially cut him. I can't think of another situation. You know what I mean? So we are kind of in uncharted territory there, or waters, whatever you want to say. So it's a little, I don't know, a little iffy. I'm kind of with you. I think I would rather have him. And understand, guys, the majority of the guaranteed money is gone, right? So you're talking about being able to save money if he is not healthy and able to play, right? So you are gonna still save money if for some reason he isn't playing every single game. And if all you're going to get is a 5th round pick or free up $6 million in cap when you've got, plenty of cap space already, that's where I'm kind of like, yeah, let's try to hold on to him. But he could also say, I'm not playing for you. He hasn't said that yet. But if he does say that, then he kind of forces Goody's hand, But Carly, we haven't talked to you in a while. What do you think about this topic here?
So my understanding of his kind of like cap and pay situation was that he would be getting more guaranteed money if he's like at the beginning of this regular season. So it seems like it would be advantageous for the Packers. It seems like they have the leverage to just hang on to him and see what can be done. And then, they always have the option to release him, but I'd rather trade him for some picks. I don't think he's coming back.
Mm-hmm. So what would you put your percentage at, Carly, in terms of him leaving or staying?
Belief in what's going to happen or what I want to happen?
What you think, what you believe is going to happen. I think we all would agree we want Jaire on the team, right? I think we're kind of all there. What do you think will happen? What percentage?
Gosh, I would love to see Goody trade him on draft. Actually, I think that would be great. And I think that's maybe about maybe 60%, 55. I don't know.
Oh, 65. Wow. Okay. That's
65%.
65%. That's what in terms of his contract, in 2025, he's got a $16.1 million base salary. And what I mean by that is, like, let's comparatively speak in terms of like the past years. In 2022, his base salary was only $1 million. In 2023, his base salary was only $1 million. In 2024, it was only $6.6 million. This year, it jumps to 16.1. So what you have is, from 2022 up through 2023, really those 2 years, you had mostly guaranteed money on the cap, right? And now it's kind of flipped. So that's why we say like that 16.1 million, however many games he misses, you're pretty much going to save roughly $1 million per game that he misses, a little less than that actually. So his signing proration is 5.5 million. That's already been paid. Restructure proration was 2.3 million. They do have one voidable year after 2026. They're in 2027. All 3 of those are a flat rate. All 5 of them were a flat rate of 2.3 million essentially. And then you got a roster bonus that's only going to be 267,000 and a workout bonus of 700,000. So the guaranteed money's kind of already been paid out. You're not due any of that in a roster bonus or any kind of that form. So that's why I'm kind of looking at it like if a fan is saying, hey, look, if he's not going to be healthy, I don't want him on the team. Okay, you can say that, but the guaranteed money's kind of done. So now you're going to get money back if he does miss games. So now
But I have a question, Clayton. I have a question though. If we're gonna keep him, he's just taken snaps from some developmental players because Ja isn't a long-term option for our team anymore, I don't think. Do you?
He's under contract for 2 more years, this year and next year. And
we took Darnell Savage. He wasn't a viable option.
Right.
On him for eternity.
Right. And who is he taking snaps from? That's the question too. Are they a better football player than Jaire Alexander? That's the point where I'm at. Like, it's like, okay, is Carrington Valentine better than Jaire? No. I feel like Carrington's the best corner on our roster, in my opinion, outside of Jaire. Right. So now the question becomes, if the team and Ja can get together and be like, hey, yeah, let's play this year out and see how it goes. Right. He's going to want to make every bit of that money he can in that salary form. Okay. He's an upgrade over every other corner on the team. Now the comparison or the cost analysis becomes, is it worth it to get rid of your best corner for a 5th round pick? And my answer is no to that. If it's a 3rd round pick, I'm thinking about it, right? I understand what you're saying. You are taking reps away from a younger player, but who is that younger player? And again, we don't know if the board's going to fall right to draft a corner. Like if you can guarantee me, and I know none of us can, that we're going to have Jaire Barron at the 23rd pick, I see exactly what you're saying, Carla.
I think a great example would be last season. Ja wasn't available the bulk of the season. We were all upset about that, and we didn't see Kalen King on the field. We drafted him last year. So I'm with you, Clay. I don't know who he's taking snaps away from necessarily.
Yeah, Chris in the chat says it's all about this guy's attitude. If it's all at all negative, like we know he can be shaky at best, doesn't matter, cut him loose. See, I didn't hear anything about a negative attitude last year, though. That's my thing. Did you, Jacob? Do you remember anything about a negative attitude in the locker room last year?
I wouldn't say that I heard anything specific, but I guess that's maybe kind of the vibe that was being sent, is that he wasn't happy. The squad wasn't necessarily happy with him. I don't know, man.
Mostly at the end of the year, right? When he said he didn't have anything nice to say.
Exactly. Right.
So
that to me was more of like a summarization of what happened throughout the season, but I don't know anything for sure. I mean, I sit here and I would love to have Jaire back. I really would, especially when you compare to what he's making now in this contract that he's playing on existing compared to some of the guys that are getting signed for unbelievable money that have not had anywhere near the pedigree of what Jaire has done. And it sucks because, the guy can't stay healthy. And I think that's one of the toughest things when you ever have a high caliber player that's not performing. It's not because he's not good when he's on the field. When he's on the field, he's great. It's just that he's not there consistently. And that was, I think, his most frustrating. And I think it makes it easier for fans like myself to say, all right, cut bait, just cut bait.
That's a bigger reason than the attitude issue, I think.
Yeah.
It's availability.
I love his attitude. Tim, that's why we love Ja. It's because of his attitude. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want that.
And his ability, like you said, when he's on the field. The biggest issue with Ja has been he's just, you can't make the club in the tub, right? Like the oldest saying in the book, right? If you're not available, you're not available.
Yeah, Coach Lynn in the chat said Ja's always been Ja. You take the good with the bad. At least he didn't pop off out the mouth at the end of the year. Like on his way out, it was, hey, I ain't got nothing good to say. He could have said, all right, boys, you want the news? Get Get your microphones ready. But yeah, again, keep in mind, people mentioned he was suspended. That was not last year. And according to the coaching staff, according to Ja, they turned a new page and moved forward. Again, I think it's more about the injury. If he had stayed healthy all year last year, we would not even be having this conversation.
Yeah. This is what I was referencing too. Did you guys see this? Derek Stingley Jr.
Yes.
is getting paid 30 per. Like, what?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I want to say, who was it? They said Darius J. Butler was talking about that earlier today, and talking about the other corner. They see Stingley and this other guy as the top 2 corners in the league. So that's your new market set for the cornerback position, right? So again, that's why I don't prioritize corner. I just don't, man. I don't. So for me, it's all about 3-tech. It's about edge. It's about mock. It's about post safety. Do you want a Jaire in a solid corner? Absolutely, you do. But it's not the top priority in my opinion. And we'll see what happens with Houston.
Surtain. It was Surtain.
Surtain. There you go. Yeah. Drew D. 17 million a year would be a steal for any team that traded for Ja. That's very, very true, Drew. And again, it's not guaranteed, right? Like it's
look at this.
Yeah, 3 years, 90 million, 89 million guaranteed. That is wild.
That's crazy.
Wild. Yeah, we'll see how that works. Now, what's practical guarantee too? That's where you get into a little bit of, like, they could say guarantee, and it might be a roster bonus. 2 of the 3 years is a big chunk, and they could just cut bait and free up. That is not actually guaranteed, So, but it may be all signing bonus. That could be it. When they say guaranteed at signing, that's typically okay. That's the signing bonus. So, anyway, so does anybody got anything else to add to the Jaire Alexander talk? Anything at all before we move? I thought we would just hit on that real quick. We good? All right, going once, going twice.
Love you, Ja. Love you.
I'm still here.
I don't want to hear any of these haters cheering him on when he balls out and has an all-pro year for us. That's all I got to say.
Oh, Tim.
I don't want to hear it.
Dragged
him all off season. When he balls out, I don't want to hear it.
Well, I'm going to say this, Tim. When this guy comes into the fold and he balls out, I don't want to hear it either. Justin M., our good buddy here, friend of the program, go give him a follow at Justin M_NFL, said defensive back Robert McDaniel was the best prospect in attendance at the HBCU Combine. 6'2", 230. Y'all sensing the sarcasm yet? I was just joking. Tim's going, is Clayton serious? Do I really have to back him on this? 6'2", 213, 4.55 40, 38.5-inch vertical jump, and a 10'8" broad jump. The reason I mention it, he met with 16 teams, one of which were the Green Bay Packers. And I couldn't remember if we had mentioned this before. Justin had DM this over to me with all the measurables and everything, so we tweeted it out. And you can obviously find more information on that over at the Draft Network. So just another player that's on Goody's radar.
Here's the guy.
That's right. So not a Ja, at least as of right now. But all right, next, Jordan Schultz, another friend of the program here. Arizona wide receiver and projected top pick Tet McMillan had his pro day today, where scouts in attendance clocked him at 4.48 40-yard dash. The 6'4", 219-pound first-team All-American had 24 NFL teams in attendance to watch him per a source. He didn't list what teams were in attendance, so we'll keep our ear to the street on obviously with our boy Easton Butler to see if he mentions that the Packers may have been there, and whether or not they met with him is the big thing. So, yeah, J. Cole confirming here. McMillan ran a 4.4. Guys, at a 6'4", 219-pound, that's pretty darn stout. And we've seen his ability to go up and make contested catches, all that. I almost hate talking about him, Jacob, because every time we talk about him, we've got to throw the preference out there that, yeah, he's probably not going to be around. So.
Yeah, it's tough. I think the last thing that was maybe even a chance that he would fall to us is people claimed he was slow, that he didn't have the long stride speed to make it, but he's right there, like Prince was saying, top 10 for Tet. Like there were rumors that he may go be a 4.6 guy. I even heard even a little bit higher than that. I mean, he doesn't look shockingly fast when you see him on film, but I swear it's because he's just so big. He's so long. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard to look as like Tyreek Hill when you're 6'4", 219. Like it's just not going to be you're not going to look like a gazelle, Now I don't think that this is going to help us at all in our quest to get Mr. Tet. I don't think he's going to last that long. What was it, like 6 or 7 teams? I'd probably add a couple more now just with that testing. You know what I mean? Yeah. People that are like, we can't turn that down.
You still want to go corner in the first round, or you want to try and make a move at receiver?
I'm not sure, Tim. I definitely want to come around in the second and grab a wide receiver. One of the ones we've talked about. If it's not our guy Higgins, then maybe even Jalen, or I really am falling in love with Trey Harris, but that's for another story.
I mean, we talked last night about Ted McMillan, right? Saying like, as long as he's like a sub 4.5 guy, shouldn't be an issue. And here he is 4.48, right? In the 40s. So
right. Yeah. Yep. It's going to be interesting. I want to give a shout out to Ryan Schlip, who put this graphic together. And I snatched it here off of Twitter. If we could drop that comment down, I'll explain what this is here. Thank you so much, bud. So here's what we got. Is this chart obviously at the bottom, running from left to right, are your rounds. Okay, round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And then running vertically on the left side are all the positions of players. So what he's done is kind of got a position distribution by draft round. Okay, so again, I don't know if he's done this based off of the past. I'm assuming that's what he did here, or if it's just projected on his current draft board. But it kind of shows you how many players at each position go in what round. Okay, and that's the way I'm understanding this chart. And somebody correct me if you guys see it differently. So edge defender leads the way in the first round with 7 players taken out of 32, right? And then behind that, there's 3 positions tied for second: wide receiver, defensive tackle, and offensive tackle. Okay, and then in the third spot, or at least the third number here, cornerback. Usually there's about 3 taken in the first round. Safety, you've got 2. Trying to see here. It's kind of hard to see what that middle one is. I think that's running back 2, right? Tight end 2, and quarterbacks 2. So the moral of the story is, again, where are GMs seeing the most value, or seeing where they're like, okay, that's where we're going to spend our top pick at. It's edge defender, and then next is, and it's significantly lower, is wide receiver, 3 tech, and offensive tackle. Now, again, what are our tier 1 positions of importance? Edge defender, offensive tackle, 3 tech, and the only difference here is the only other position that we would have is quarterback, and it's significantly lower, which kind of caught me off guard after last year, obviously. So, again, I'm pretty sure he did it off past drafts and not his current draft board. But what do you guys think about that? I think this is a really cool heat map, I guess is what you would call it. Because in the second round, what do you see? It looks like you've got a bunch of corners,
yeah,
6 corners and 5 interior offensive line, 5 more edge defender, and the edge picks back up at 6 in the third round. That's how important it is, right? And then of course the big thing is look at wide receiver. Where are the majority of the wide receivers taken? Third round. And the reason I mention that is because we've been kind of talking about Jaden Higgins and some of these players, like Higgins is Tim's guy, obviously, and I've been looking at I kind of like Trey Harris. Could he potentially last to the third round? I thought this was very, very interesting. So what's your all's take on that, and kind of what's this showing here?
Man,
when's the last time we took a corner in the first round? Stokes?
Stokes, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been Stokes. And then before that, it had been Kevin King, and then before that, it had been Jaire, right? Am I thinking right?
I think that's the last 3, yep.
Was Ahmad Carroll a first-round pick?
Mm-hmm. I had just become a Packer fan, and I went, oh, this dude's going to be awesome.
So, again, should we go corner in the first round?
Tim, you're killing me here, bro.
I'm just saying. I mean, we're talking Stokes. We're talking.
No, I agree.
King, we're talking Jaire. Everybody hates Jaire right now. So, I mean.
No, I mean, honestly, that is kind of where I'm like, I really am starting to figure. Because I personally, I'm in love with the James Pierce pick there. I just want somebody that can be an instant difference maker. I don't want any more project first rounders. I just don't. I want a guy that can come in and be an immediate impact player. I do think Jaire Barron is one of those guys that could be that, but I think I'd much rather go with an edge or a D tackle. What do you think?
To me, it's all about the board, man. How does the board fall?
Yeah.
If corner is the best player on the board, if Will Johnson's sitting there at 23 and he's hands down on 12 spot for us, hell yeah, run the card up there for a corner. Are you kidding me? He's the best corner in the draft. Think about it this way. Last year, if we got what's his name? from Philly, not Cooper either. Everybody's golden white boy that they just
Mitchell.
had at the door. Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah.
Quinyon Mitchell, one of those dudes, stood out the Senior Bowl. If you could have gotten a hold of him in the first round, we would not even be trying to slander potentially taking a corner in the first round. And what did they do? They double dipped. How'd that work out? I don't know. They got a Lombardi. You know what I mean? So, like, you got to take all these things into consideration. Now, they did a good job in prior years building the heck out of the trenches, on mainly on defense, but on offense as well. So, it just depends on the board to me. So that's my take. You guys keep going here.
Well, Clayton, I think that this board, you said you weren't sure about like whether it was based on history, but I think it's the prospected people like coming up in this draft, because with the QBs having just 2, they project to go in the first round. That would be Shedeur and Cam Ward, right? Mm-hmm. So I think this is like this is what they are thinking is going to where people are going to fall.
Mm-hmm. That really does line up with the board I'm looking at right now on our draft board. So that's probably the information you got here for sure. So if they're saying there could potentially be 3 corners taken in the first round, since we're talking corner, if Travis Hunter is considered a corner, you Travis Hunter, Will Johnson, Jaire Barron, and then I got Siobhan Revelle Jr. in the 27 spot. And that's so I've got 4 that are worthy of a first round pick according to my board. So that makes sense in terms of quarterback. You're spot on, Carly. It's obviously Cam Ward and then Shedeur Sanders. And then when we look at 3 tech, or just defensive tackle in general, they're showing 4 on this if it is the current year. Mine is showing Mason Graham 1, Kenneth Grant 2, Walter Nolan 3, Derek Harmon 4, and we were out of the first round. There you go. So I think you're right, Carl. I think this is based off of this year's draft here. So this is just kind of a heat map of, all right, here is where everyone's projecting these prospects to potentially go. And again, some of these are going to be wrong. There's no doubt about that. But I just think it's interesting to kind of look at it globally, because what it suggests is, look, in the first round, if you want to get one of the top edges, you better go edge in the first round, right?
Yeah.
In the second round, it looks like your value is going to be there at corner. So what that would suggest is, where is the depth in the draft, essentially? Wide receiver is the big thing that sticks out to me. No reason to rush getting a wide receiver until the 3rd round, and that's probably the sweet spot. Now, if you get there in the 2nd round and you got someone that's significantly higher than everyone else on your board, and it makes sense, it lines up with the need, he's the best player available, pull the trigger. But that's kind of how I'm seeing it here. Tim, are you seeing it any different? Is that how you're kind of seeing this graphic here as well?
Yeah, I agree. And it kind of lends credence to what Jacob was talking about with James Pierce Jr., right? You know, like maybe in a perfect world, he's on the board at 23, or, you know, we make a move in that first round and we go edge early and, you know, get a guy with an extremely high ceiling, you know, right in that sweet spot with the physical attributes, the grades, the age, all the things Goody likes. Maybe you go and snag an edge right away. Personally, I'd like to go 3 tech receiver, 3 tech. That would be great in a perfect world in my eyes. But, you know, there's no guarantee that, you know, my guy Higgins will be there in the 2nd round either. So
right.
It's tough. Like Deadfish is saying here, defensive tackle, wide receiver, defensive tackle, right?
It's kind of
a perfect world, right? Kenneth Grant,
Tim would die.
Walker, let's go. Like, I mean,
Tim wouldn't be on the podcast for 3 days.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, you give me Kenneth Grant, Jaden Higgins, and Deion Walker. I'm a little, you guys know, and I'm a Kentucky guy. I'm a lot lower on Deion Walker than to take him there in the 3rd round. I kind of feel like I would feel better about it in the 4th, but it doesn't matter what I think, man. And it matters, you know, obviously what the scouts are saying. We might need to do a detailed scouting report on Deion Walker soon. And just a little teaser here, later on in the show, we've got 3 scouting reports queued up for who the Packers have met with, other than James Pierce Jr. We did not include that one, but we've got Colston Loveland, Kenneth Grant, and Jaire Barron that we got Grok to give us a detailed scouting report of all 3. And the reason we chose those 3, like I said, is because the Packers met with all 3 of those, and they're sitting in the 15, 16, and 17 spot on our board, ironically. So anything else you guys want to talk about with this chart right here in terms of where the value is and maybe where you're kind of that roadmap to where you want to draft these guys? Anything at all? Good? All right.
Yeah.
Let's move it along then. So we got our Ted McMillan talk in. Now let's move on to something we've been trying to get to the last few days, and obviously it's gotten away from me. I apologize for that. It's been crazy busy, and I'm finally getting back to responding to everybody's texts. Appreciate everybody reaching out. Patreon group's going good. We're going to start to put information in the Patreon group now. So it's going to be an article form where you can gather information like these scouting reports. They will be on the Patreon group for everyone to read. Also, the website is almost up and running. I got a guy on that. So we will have PackersTotalAccess.com, which will be a website where you can go find the channel, find all the links, and get all of this information in article form there as well. So we're going to start to spill into that little area of sports commentary, I guess you could say. But Jacob Westendorf over at Sports Illustrated, all right, he's a great follow on Twitter. Go check him out. Here was his recent mock draft, and this really gets me excited to think: what if Will Johnson fell to the Packers at 23?
Here's a guy
absolutely awesome. So he took Will Johnson with the 23rd pick there in this mock draft. What are you guys thinking about Will as we've got him in the 12th spot? You're talking about great value there. I don't expect him to last that long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's kind of what Respect Orange is saying. Willie Johnson, come on, man. Like I just don't think he's one of those guys that I haven't given enough research into because I just don't feel like it's going to happen. It's like right. I'd have to have the luckiest luck ever to get that guy to fall. If he did, oh my Lord, I'd be running. I'd be doing the Leo DiCaprio jog. You know what I mean? When you're walking up, like I'd be so happy. That'd be amazing.
Tim, what do you think about Will Johnson? Would you be on board with that?
Yeah, I would not be upset at all. Like if we went corner in the first, he's there. We took him. Yeah, I'm good with that for sure.
Got it. Carly, what about you? Any comments on the Will Johnson pick at 23? You're muted, Carly. So angry.
She went rats.
Exactly.
I'm just scared of taking a corner in the first round just because of our history. I don't think we're very good at it. I think we should probably stick to something we can evaluate better, maybe.
All right, there you go. So Will Johnson, again, in the 12th spot for us. In 2022, he was the 12th highest graded cornerback. He dropped to 113, then dropped to 114, according to PFF. However, the PFF big board somehow, some way, had him as the 6th best prospect, along with the consensus big board having him in the 6th spot. Daniel Jeremiah had him at 12, which is where he lands on our board. 33rd team had him at 2. Dane Brugler had him at 13. To the best of my knowledge, they haven't had their pro day yet. So his score is a 17.3, putting him in the 12th spot for us. So next pick here, actually, Drew D says, first of all, I'm just worried about Will Johnson's injuries. He had a shoulder and now a hamstring. Drew, do you know when was his most recent injury? Which one of those? Was it this past year? Because we have no red box on him. And I would love to go ahead and highlight that red if we could. Let me know in the chat, and Jacob, if you'll keep an eye out for that comment to come through. So again, Will Johnson, he's an outside corner out of Michigan. I would be ecstatic if he fell to the Packers, barring any crazy injury concern like what Drew's saying. So round 2, I don't know if Tim will be on board with this or not, but Jacob Westendorf drafted wide receiver Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State.
He was the best guy around.
Yeah, there's a little bit of steam behind this Jaden Higgins hype, isn't there, man?
You know what? I'm done. I'm done talking about it. I don't want to jinx it. You know.
Yeah. To that point, I think Jake's
I'm over Jaden Higgins. We don't want him.
Yeah. Tim might be onto something here. Jake says, Jake Shavink NFL says, I might be nuts, but I think Will Johnson at 23 is more possible than Jaden Higgins at 54. And I don't want to agree with that, but I do. It stinks. We got to shut up about it, dude.
Yeah, I'm not talking about him anymore. Let's talk about Jack Bash.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. It's listen, Jaden Higgins is interesting to me. Like I've got Trey Harris in the 45 spot. And he's the one that I like. If he falls to the second round, if he lasts to us in the second round, and it comes down to Trey Harris or Jaden Higgins, I personally would like Trey Harris. That's just me. Again, he's in the 45 spot on our big board. Jaden Higgins is in the 53 spot. So the big difference between those two receivers is Trey Harris the last 2 years has graded better. He graded better than Jaden Higgins in 2023, being the 16th highest graded receiver. Jaden Higgins was 28th. And then, of course, Trey Harris jumped all the way to 6th this past year, but Jaden Higgins leapfrogged him to 4. Okay. The 33rd, or I'm sorry, the PFF big board had Jaden Higgins at 54. They had Trey Harris at 86. So right now it looks like Jaden Higgins should be higher than Trey, right? Well, Trey Harris on the consensus big board was in the 44 spot. Jaden Higgins was all the way down to 81. Daniel Jeremiah does not have Jaden Higgins or Trey Harris in his top 50. That's no surprise. 33rd team has Jaden Higgins at 79, or had him at that spot. They had Trey Harris at 48. Dane Brugler had Trey Harris at 68, and he had Jaden Higgins at 48. So they're just kind of leapfrogging each other. Every column you go to, it's like they're flipping. So they're fairly close together. And I believe they both scored a 9+ RAS. So they're very similar in that regard. For me, I think it's more about the competition. Trey Harris playing at Ole Miss, they're in the SEC. And then, of course, Jaden Higgins playing at Iowa State. Like, who would love to see who was on his schedule the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Like, who does Iowa State typically play other than Iowa? I mean, are they in the Big Ten? I don't even know. I'm kind of ignorant when it comes to Big Ten football. No. What conference is Iowa State in?
God, that's like the Sun Belt or something like that. Jake Shavank in the chat should know this. Okay. Hit us up.
Because I'm looking for cluster busters. You know what I mean? I'm looking for these things that kind of differentiate one from the other, because they just keep teetering back and forth. But again, Trey Harris, his grade, Big 12. There you go. Which is there actually 12 teams there now? I don't know.
The Big Ten's got like 84. So who
right,
knows?
Exactly. So Trey Harris is here. We go. Trey Harris 80+ grades the last 2 years were against Furman, Middle Tennessee, Georgia Southern, Mercer, Tulane, and Texas A&M. No, there are no powerhouses there. That's for sure. So his grade on our board is a 46.3. Jaden Higgins is a 51.3. So that would put him just one tier lower than Jaden Higgins. Now, what it's going to come down to for me is hopefully Greg Cosell will break down receivers pretty handily. I'd love to see who Greg Cosell likes more. That would be awesome. I wish Greg Cosell would put a top 100 board out. I would be all over that. I would pay an embarrassment of riches to see his top 100 board. So, Carly, you got anything to add to the wide receiver talk here in terms of Jaden Higgins being in the second round there?
I like people from Iowa because I'm from Iowa. Not originally from Wisconsin.
There you go. And I'm the opposite. Every time somebody graduates from Kentucky, I'm like, I don't know if we should take him, because I know how people are in Kentucky. There you go. Which we know these prospects aren't from Kentucky. They're coming from like California and stuff, right? And then settling in Kentucky. So, all right. Next, third round, he went Jordan Burch, edge defender out of Oregon. All right. This one kind of caught me off guard. Let me look at the board real quick. Actually, we got Jordan Burch in the 72 spot. So that's a pretty darn good value, because the third round, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, ain't that pick 87? Am I thinking right? So we get the 72nd best prospect on our board with the 87th pick. I'd be on board with that. But what do y'all think about Jordan Burch? Anything you'd like to add to that?
6'6", 295.
I was gonna say he's a big boy, right?
He's
an edge.
He's an old dog though. Goody DiCaprio factor. He'll be 24.
Uh-oh.
Right. Jacob, what do you think about Jordan Burch, man? And here's Coach Lynn. Burch could play inside and outside on the D-line. That kind of sounds like Chris Jones a little bit.
Ooh. I'm not the biggest fan of Burch, but what the heck do I know? In the third round, I'd much rather. I think I would have rather had an edge in the first round and try to grab some sort of corner in the third. I know it's kind of tough to see in this year's draft. Like, I really do like guys like O'Donnell Fortune or certain other kind of maybe sleeper type cornerbacks that we could maybe get. I like Jordan Burch. I do. It's just, I don't think that at that area of the draft, I don't feel comfortable getting him there.
Mm-hmm. Got it. All right. King Tron with the super chat, $2 for the Goot DiCaprio pick. Howdy, yo. I appreciate it, Tron. Appreciate it, man. Obviously, I've spent a lot of time putting that Photoshop together. Look how clean that is, bro.
That's great right there. Hey, Jacob, I agree with you, though. It's not so much Jordan Burch. It's going edge in the third round and then going D tackle or D lineman. CJ West, we like CJ West, but I wonder if we went D line in the third, if we could do a little better.
Yeah.
I think it's I think it's interesting what STM40 says here, too. I think mock exercises for this year has shown cornerback runs out after the second. Bagut has found gems. Both are good points, I think. And in this mock right here, obviously he went corner early. We kind of talked about that. Like, if you get to the second and third round, not that there's not good football players there. You just find other players that are ranked significantly higher, right? And again, let's go back to that heat map real quickly. This might be a good little exercise, just real fast. When we look at corner, what rounds? All right. So they're showing you only 3 in the first round, 6 in the second, and then after that, 2 in the third, 7 in the fourth. So there might be a little pocket there. The fifth, there is hardly anyone, just 1. Then you get back to 6 there in the 6th round, and then 5 in the 7th. So yeah, it kind of looks like once you get past the 4th round, you're probably you better have gotten one of your guys there, So I think that's a really cool tool. I'm glad that Ryan tweeted that out. CJ West in the 4th round, Jacob Westendorf takes here. CJ West on our board. Take a quick gander here. We have CJ West. I got to get rid of these periods in this. We got him in the 106 spot. This would be pick 124. Every one of these are great picks according to our board. It's pretty wild. So what do y'all think about CJ West out of Indiana?
I love CJ West, to be honest. I don't know what Tim thinks. 6'2", 317, big old boy there. What's cool too about him is when you look at just his last year. Well, first of all, 2022 80.1, 2023 85.9, 2024 83.8. When you look at this last year, his best games were against Maryland, Washington, Michigan, Purdue, Notre Dame. Didn't do too well against Ohio State, but you know what I mean? Like, he shows up in big games, which I think is kind of a big thing to have. I don't know. I don't have an age for him because PFF likes to screw with me like that, but I don't know where he lines up on the Goody scale but I personally really like that pick.
Definitely a versatile dude, right? Probably can play the 1 and the 3.
That's what coaches say here too.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. A TJ Slayton replacement possibility right here. Again, like I don't have any problem with CJ West. I'd like to go a little earlier with D line, like 1st round or 3rd round. But if we're picking at 4, round 4 here, like Clayton's saying, early hundreds, I think you can do a lot worse than CJ West for sure.
Yeah, he actually played A-gap predominantly in 2022, 322 snaps versus 58 in B-gap. He swapped that in 2023, 384 in B-gap, 74 in A-gap, and then this last year, 219 in A-gap, B-gap was 198. So he is very versatile.
I mean, he's no Deion Walker, but he is over 6 feet and he's over 300 pounds and he's versatile. So I do like him. Yep.
I'm asking Grok right now, see if it knows his age. This is weird. Why is it so hard to find his age? Does anybody have
the weirdest thing?
Yeah, here we go. As of March 17, 2025, that would make him approximately 23 years old. So he's 23, according to this. All right, there you go. Carly, anything to add to CJ West talk here?
No, but I was looking him up on your guys' board, and at 115 we have Anthony Johnson Jr. Is this like some weird episode of Groundhog's Day, or what's going on with that?
Do you notice his name is lit up in the red too? We did respect for Tim. We know Tim was a big Anthony Johnson Jr. guy, so we were like, Tim, we got another shot here. We got another
one here for you.
Exactly. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we'll continue with this analysis here, and we got a bunch of other things in store as well. Like I said, we'll see you on the other side for hour 2. We appreciate y'all. All right, welcome back into hour 2. Let's get it. Let's kick it off with a super chat. King Tron breakdown of Felton, wide receiver from Maryland, please and thank you. Let's throw that one in real quick before we get to the Jack Nelson talk here in the 5th round. The offensive tackle out of Wisconsin that Jacob Westendorf took. So let's see. He said Felton, right?
Yeah, that's, I believe, Ty Felton.
Ty Felton.
Yep. I believe he's a little undersized. Tim, do you got much on him right now on your radar?
I've got him in the 141 spot, and he did score a 9+ RAS last I checked. Now, that may have adjusted. I need to go through and get them. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Bates said 6'1", 183. Is that what you're showing, Tim? On
I got 6'2", 186. So
okay.
I mean, we're in the ballpark. I don't know about completely undersized, maybe a little skinny like me. But
No,
he's certainly got the height, and he's 22. So Goody DiCaprio, here we come.
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of that tweener, right? The pick 124 in the 4th round, a little too high for him. He may be gone by pick 159 in the 5th. But yeah, that's interesting. There you go. United Bates 4.3740 is what Draft Plus said. So got a laser there. So
really don't like the drop rate. Really don't like the contested catch rate. Don't like the grade against man coverage. Besides that,
he's coming off his best season, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's coming off his best season, but before that, where he played more games prior in 2022 and 2023. His grades at that point were a 62 and a 64-2.
Right.
I don't know. It's all right.
I will say this though, his targets jumped
yes.
exponentially between 23 and 24. He had 81 targets in 23. He had 143 in 2024. So
yep.
Got it. Good stuff. King Tron, again, thank you for the super chat, bud. Appreciate you. Chris in the chat says, Clayton, where do you have Donovan Ezaraku on your board? What's he weigh? I don't have his weight. If you guys want to look up his weight, that's Donovan Ezaraku. I think I'm saying that.
247.
Okay, so a little lot in the loafers there when it comes to.
It's only 6'2", right, Tim?
Yeah, 6'2", 247. He'll be 22 pretty soon.
We got him in the 30s spot, Chris. So he's ranked really high on our board, a borderline first-round pick. RAS was a 7 is what we had at the time, so we'll double-check that. But
a Jeff Hafley transplant as well, Boston College.
Right.
That's right. That's exactly right. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's pick back up here in the 5th round. Jack Nelson, offensive tackle out of Wisconsin. I know our Badger fans really, really excited to hear that name. That would be really cool to pick up another Badger. Obviously, we got him in the 148 spot. So here in the 5th round, that would be 159, and we got the 148th best prospect. Man, Westendorf is. I swear, I think he used our board to do this. It's pretty wild. So
6'7", 316. He's a big boy.
He's a big dude.
Boy,
and he's just been more of a steady Eddie. That's kind of what it looks like. The blurb they're giving him on PFF is Nelson has good size and length with quick footwork and a good technique to create rush pass lanes and a zone blocker, but he needs more power and balance with fewer penalties to be a consistent member of a starting 5. They're saying he's more likely to be a utility backup.
Yep.
So
he's a pure left tackle too.
Right.
100% left tackle.
We're looking for a backup there, ain't we, boys?
Yep.
So
it's true.
There you go. I'm sure if Emilio was here, we don't need a backup. We've got Travis Glover.
Travis Glover.
We love you, Emilio. We miss you, buddy.
No, we don't.
Hopefully, Tom Holman let you back across. All right, Carl, you got anything to add to Jack Nelson here, offensive tackle out of Wisconsin, or anything else you'd like to add?
No, I like his size.
It's a big old boy. There ain't no two ways about that. Elijah Roberts. All right.
There you go. Here you go.
6th round. This is a hell of a pick. I've got him at 107 on our board, and the Packers have met with him. His PFF grades, boys.
Yeah.
Tim, hit us with his PFF grade.
91.1. The big dog out of SMU. 6'4", 294. Woo!
That's a 3-tech that if he lasts to the 6 rounds, I'm assuming he's a 3-tech, right? I mean, he's
listed as an edge according to
he played one snap. He's only played one snap in A gap his whole career. He played 7 in 2024 at B gap. Other than that, he's basically all outside tackle.
Yeah, he's an edge.
Maybe
coming off his best year, probably.
Wow. Maybe you've got a package put together for somebody like that when you go with that double 4-tech and with a couple of wide 9s, let him eat in the middle like that a little bit. But yeah, that's interesting, man. The Packers met with him. So,
his pass rush win rate is 22.4%.
Jeez.
Like what? He has
the pick is in.
He has 45 hurries last year. 8 sacks, 7 hits, 45 hurries. What?
Yeah. This is a guy that you want to keep your eye on. You know, especially if you're in the camp of we got to get better at pass rush, you know. That's a pure pass rusher right there.
Definitely. Up next in the 7th round with our first 7th round pick, he's got us taking running back out of Kansas, Devin Neal. Devin Neal on our board, 112. Sign me up. I know we're good at running back, but Chris Brooks, sir, we'll call you if we need you. In the meantime, step back to the practice squad. If you can get Devin Neal in the 7th round, Lord have mercy. What do y'all think about that dude?
21 and a half years old. Ooh. 5'11", 215. That sounds like Goody's match made in heaven.
That's right.
Bowling ball right there.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Clay. You know, my gut's like, we don't need a running back. But then it's like, you know, we don't know what Marshawn Lloyd we're going to get this year, you know. Right. And obviously we know Josh Jacobs is that dude. You know, we feel really good about Emmanuel Wilson. But, you know, Marshawn Lloyd is kind of the question mark. Hopefully that dude is ready to play and ready to go, as has been said before. But I'm not opposed to going running back late in the draft.
Get ready to go.
That's right.
Yeah. So again, to me, don't carry 4 backs if he were to last that long. I'm not saying, you know, go get him in the 3rd round, although our board would suggest he's worthy of a 4th round pick. I'm just, you know, dang, man, you can get him in the 7th round. That seems like a really good value.
He's never had a season under 1,000 yards.
I was just gonna say that. Damn.
That is so exciting. He is used to working. I like that. I like a guy that's used to being on the field, used to making it happen. That experience, I feel like, is more than what you can measure.
Yeah, nearly 200 carries on average every year. 1,093 yards in 2022, 1,280 yards in 23, 1,262 in 2024. Dude's
averaging basically around 6 per every single time he runs the ball. He had 16 touchdowns the last 2 seasons, and it looks like he's a little bit of a dual threat because he has had some experience receiving, catching the ball. And when you look at his actual games that he played, he showed up in big games too, which is kind of cool.
Yep. And this last pick here in the 7th round may make some people mad, might make some people shake their head. Here we go, 2-0 for this. I've never had a season under 1,000 yards. I've also never had a season over 1,000 yards. I see what you did there, sir. I see what you did. So Seth Hennigan is the final pick here by the Packers from Memphis, quarterback. We've got Seth Hennigan in the 266 spot. But the main thing that's bringing him down, Consensus Big Board had him at 473, and the PFF Big Board had him at 248. His PFF grades look fairly decent. Am I wrong there, guys?
No, they definitely look decent. I mean, he's never had, 6 picks, 9 picks, 8 picks, 25 tutters, 32 tutters, 22 tutters, over 3,500 yards passing every year.
Dude, look at that deep grade. That guy can throw the ball deep.
Yeah. 6'3", 215.
Yeah. He's got a deep grade of 93.5.
We got an age on him yet?
Still don't. Let me go to Grok. Grok over here stalking people.
Yeah.
What is Seth Hennigan's age? Oh,
man, this dude. I mean, he's graded out very well, and Memphis is no slouch of a school. You know what I mean? And similarly to the other guys, he had some of his best games against some of the more polished opponents, kind of thing. And look at, I mean, like kind of like the other guy, man. The lowest he's ever had is 3,500 yards passing. I mean, that's pretty cool. 25 touchdowns, 32 touchdowns, 22 touchdowns. Interceptions are pretty low. Pretty much averaged just around 100 passer rating his whole career. I wouldn't be upset about it. I don't know what kind of quarterback he is. He's a runner. If he's a pocket guy, I'm not quite sure.
Anything else y'all want to add to Seth Hennigan? I'm going to see if I can pull up the most recent Consensus Big Board and see where they've got him at now, see if something's changed.
Bates has got him at 22 years old, 6'3", 215.
Yeah. And keep in mind, we have Seth Hennigan, when we put the information in at the end of the college football season, the Consensus Big Board had him at 473. He's now up to 272. He jumped 200 spots.
Wow.
So
yeah, I mean, so you take this guy in the 7th round, you don't feel terrible about that.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, if you take him in the 7th round, does that mean you're probably not going to carry 3 quarterbacks? Does that mean
the big red dog?
You trade Malik Willis?
No,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, Malik Willis is probably on the block if you're gonna draft a guy.
Yeah, definitely.
How dare you?
Drew D with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, where do you have defensive tackle Joe Evans? Joe Evans, we've got in the 200 spot, but we are lacking a bunch of information on him. We don't have a 2024 grade. I'll see if I can run that down.
64.8.
Does it show what his position ranking was that year?
He must have been hurt though, Tim, right? Because that's what I'm seeing. He only played 115 snaps, only 5 games.
Yeah.
How many snaps?
115.
Yeah, 115.
So it's not showing his ranking. You guys talked about him for a second. What you got there, Tim? I'm going to see if I can pull up that info real quick.
Played a lot of B gap.
I was going to say 6'3", 335. That's a big old boy right there. He is most mocked to the Cowboys, and then the Bears, and then us. So I don't know. I have not honestly looked up this gentleman. If you look at his 2023 campaign, played 308 snaps, had an 81.4 grade. He was the 35th interior defensive lineman. So he has potential. 2022, 270 snaps, 78.2.
I don't think he's a pass rush dude.
He does not look like that. Yeah, he kind of seems like a one-trick pony.
Thick.
So 64.8 was his grade. Is that right? That's
in 24, yeah.
In 24. So that would put him, if we look at the rankings here, that would put him 511th at his position. So that does not help, obviously. So that would bring him down significantly. We had him at 200. You put that information in, he's going to drop way down. His grade goes to a 2. It goes from a 137 to a 230.5.
Yeah. PFF's slow on him, too. They got him at 290.
There you go. All right. Good stuff. So hopefully that answered your question there, Drew. Appreciate the super chat. All right. There you go. That's the Jacob Westendorf latest mock draft. So we got that hit. Let's talk about what Brock says is the top offensive lineman in this year's draft. Y'all good with that? Shift gears here a little bit and talk offensive line. This is a little long. Go ahead. Somebody have something? No? Okay. This is a little long-winded, but we're gonna kind of dive into it here. It says you asked about the top. That said defensive tackles. I don't know why it mentioned that. Oh, here we go. Yeah. And now the top offensive lineman so this is offensive lineman in general, not just offensive tackles. I apologize. It says, since your latest question shifts focus to offensive linemen, I'll provide a fresh breakdown of the standout prospects at each position as of March 17, 2025. These rankings are based on current evaluations of college performance, physical attributes, draft projections, and with the understanding that pre-draft events like the Combine or Pro Days could still adjust the pecking order. Here are the top offensive linemen in the 2025 draft class. It says Will Campbell, number 1. Why he's top? Campbell at 6'6", 325 pounds is widely regarded as the best offensive lineman in the class. A 3-year starter at left tackle, he's a mauler in the run game and allowed just 4 sacks over 1,500-plus pass blocking snaps. His balance, strong hands, and explosiveness make him a projected top 10 pick, though some debate if his shorter arm length, around 33 and a half inches, might push him to guard. Still, his tape screams franchise.
He can block.
So, right. So we've got Will Campbell on our board in the number 5 spot.
Yep.
At LSU.
Blah, blah, blah. His arms are short. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
Those are tiny T-Rex arms.
Yeah, whatever. They said that about Bach. He turned out okay at tackle.
It's just hilarious, man. It is what it is. So Kelvin Banks is the number 2 one. All right. Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas has said why he's elite. Banks, 6'4", 324 pounds, has been a rock at left tackle for Texas with nearly 35-inch arms and a dense frame that excels in pass protection. He's progressed steadily over 3 seasons, allowing minimal pressure, just 1 sack in 2024. Scouts love his leverage and reach, pegging him as a top 15 pick, though he may need to add lower body mass to anchor against NFL power rushers. So they've got Kelvin Banks number 2. Surprise, surprise. We've actually got Mimbo number 2 and Kelvin Banks number 3. And you'll notice I don't think Armand Mimbo made this list, which was really, really interesting. So what do you think about Kelvin Banks? Anything you want to add there?
His arms are longer, you know.
There you go.
Arm length.
All right. Breaking news. His arms are longer.
I do find it hard to believe if Membo's not on this list. That kind of shocking to me because that dude is a freaking beast.
Yeah. Next, we got Jonah Savanaya, maybe? Savanaya.
He was the best guy around.
Sure he was. It says Arizona guard / tackle. Why he's notable: at 6'5", 335 pounds, his versatility stands out. Starting at right guard as a freshman, All-American, then playing both tackle spots. In 2024, he split time at left and right tackle, allowing only 2 sacks. Over 889 snaps. His athleticism and power project him as a first rounder, likely at guard, though he could get a shot outside. This dude seems like he's got some versatility, right? So that is, again, Jonah Savanaya is what I'm going to go with.
Do you think it makes sense, would the Packers take somebody in the first round who could be a tackle just to put him at guard? I feel like spending a first round pick on someone you're going to play at guard is kind of excessive.
Carly, you're kind of describing what we did last year.
Jordan Morgan,
and it was from Arizona, so don't do this to me, all right?
That is hilarious. Yeah, there's precedent there, no doubt. Now, listen, I've got this guy in the 67 spot on my board. So this is interesting that they've got him listed at 3, and he's all the way at 67. That hasn't happened very often. But again, we're not seeing Armand Membo anywhere here.
The math ain't mathing, Grok. What's going on?
Hey,
right.
I don't think Grok is ranking them. I think they're just being put in an order like of information that these are the top ones, but I don't think he's comparing.
I'm with
Again, this is what I said. Who are the top offensive linemen in this year's draft? That's what I asked. So
Jake Shavink. Emory Jones at 4. Grok, buddy, we need to chat. Exactly.
Yeah, let's see where Emory Jones is at on ours.
Let's converse right now about this.
We got Emory Jones.
Ask Grok again. Ask Grok again in order of greatness, or in order what are the top prospects. Mm-hmm. I think would make a difference, because I really don't think I'm not going to even say he. It's not a person. I don't think AI orders him.
Says Grok is from the Bayou. Like some LSU guys.
I'm just going to ask Grok, are you drunk? I'm going to put that.
What are you doing, man?
Emory Jones. LSU tackle. Why he's rising. Jones, 6'6", 322 pounds, pairs with Campbell to give LSU 2 elite tackles. He started at right tackle, showing solid run blocking and pass protection skills. Mixed but decent 2024 against Texas A&M. Some see him moving to guard due to technique and refinement needs, but he's a day 2 prospect with first round upside.
Who in the hell is Mel Kiper anyway?
Who the hell is Mel Grok anyway? All right. Next, you got Tyler Booker, Alabama guard. All right, let's see. Let me pull him up real quick, because I know he is fairly high on our board. We got him in the 35 spot on our board. It says Tyler Booker, Alabama guard. Why he's a standout. Booker, 6'5", 325 pounds, is a dominant interior lineman with all SEC honors. His 2024 season showcased power and mobility, with only 1 sack allowed over 600-plus snaps. He's a plug-and-play guard projected for late round 1 or early round 2 value for his ability to handle SEC defensive fronts. It said this class is deep, with others like Josh Connerly Jr., Oregon tackle. Parker Browsford really caught me off guard. He must be one. You know how we got one the other day that ended up going back to college? He's not on our board at all. You guys see if you can find anything on Browsford there.
There we go.
There you go. Went back to school. So a lot of this information, it sounds like, was compiled. It was over like 20 some articles that were written. So it's taken even the early articles and throwing it in. So Prince in the chat, Grok's the only thing that Chuck Norris fears. There you go. And then
I feel like Booker might be accurate though. This might be pretty accurate.
Yeah, I'm not as high on Booker as most. I think we did away. Actually, let's see where Daniel Jeremiah am, because there's many people that have Booker pretty high, if I remember correctly.
See, I can't understand the love for Booker here.
Even 13. Daniel Jeremiah in his mock draft 2.0 had Tyler Booker going number 13 to the Dolphins. Go ahead, Jacob. I'm sorry, man.
No, you could. I don't understand how. So PFF has him ranked as the best guard, but if you look at his year-on-year stats here, 2022 67-1, 2023 72-5, 2024 66-5. I mean, the guy has only had 2 games in the 70s this last year. Otherwise, he's a straight 50s and 60s guy. Like, what is that based on? I don't understand that. That to me seems a little bit suspect there.
And here's what's crazy: like the 2 people that I respect in the draft community, Daniel Jeremiah and Dane Brugler. Daniel Jeremiah has him at 14. Dane Brugler has him at 18.
You know who this reminds me of? This is our Aaron Banks. People are like, he's good. Just don't look at the PFF score. He's real good.
Could be. And then, of course, Tate Ratledge is another name that's mentioned here.
Yeah.
If we look at Tate Ratledge, He is in the 55 spot on our board. He looks like he measured out really, really well. He had a 9+ RAS, though. So there you go. Anything else y'all want to add to the offensive line talk here? Obviously, Armand Mimbo needs to be on this list big time because we've got him way up on our board. Armand Mimbo, we've got actually in the 9 spot, and he does have a wrestling background as well. So.
Tyler Bucker is 20 years old.
I was going to say he's barely 21, so he's got that going. 6'5", 325. You know, a lot of the buzz around him is, you know, the build, you know, the physical build. They feel like his weight is, you know, distributed pretty evenly and looks good physically. But I'm with you, Jacob. The grades really aren't there, but it's PFF. You know, we've seen them grade guys low and then rank them in the top 10. So I don't know where the logic is there, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd call him the best interior O lineman, but he's up in the conversation for sure.
Got it. All right,
guys. I asked Grok to rank them in order, and he put Membu put Membu at 6.
What do you mean it?
It's not a person.
It is 2025, Carly. Let's refer to. Okay. Do this the right way.
And I'm going to ask Grok what its pronouns are.
They got hold
Not
of
doing
the
it.
wrong stuff.
I love how he delays it. He'll hit it, pause, and then come back with it. This is beautiful.
I was a DJ in my former life.
Yeah. And we know you were. Tim, we know how those late nights went, sir. You put that thing on autoplay and you were out there on the dance floor like no doubt about it. All right, that's the chat. See, this is why we can't have nice things. All right, let's move it along here. James Pierce Jr., guys, when we talk about him, what's the first thing people bring up? It's always the personal issues, right?
The drama.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, yeah, but he could be a problem for the program, for the team. Listen, this is a lengthy read here, okay? But I'm going to try to get to the gist of it here. I said, what are the character concerns surrounding NFL draft prospect, James Pierce Jr.? Here's what it said. And again, guys, this is not our opinion. This is what the AI pulled off of 9 different posts, it looks like, okay? It says, James Pierce Jr., a highly touted edge rusher from Tennessee and a projected first-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, has faced scrutiny over alleged character concerns that have reportedly impacted his draft stock. While specific details remain largely unverified or anecdotal, several points have emerged from various sources, including the media reports and posts on X as of March 17, 2025. The primary public incident tied to Pierce occurred in December of 2023 when he was arrested during a traffic stop in good old Knoxville, Tennessee. He was caught driving 63 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. I have done that before. And police discovered his North Carolina license was suspended. I actually had my license suspended in North Carolina one time too. This is really
the pearls.
This is crazy. He failed. I need to tell you all that story on how that happened sometime. We'll save that for a later show. He failed to provide ID or proof of insurance, leading to charges like improper registration in an illegal window tint. These charges were dropped 2 weeks later when the athletic director called the police. I'm just kidding. But the incident, allegedly, has been cited as a starting point for a character questions. While minor in isolation, it's the only concrete off-field event widely reported.
Speeding, no ID on a suspended license, that ain't nothing but a Tuesday in Milwaukee.
And window tint.
And window tint. Oh, sorry.
Come on, Tim. He's a criminal.
That could be a Tuesday in Harlan County, Kentucky, but your horse usually gets impounded if you do. You know what I'm saying? Beyond this, broader concerns stem from rumors and anonymous NFL sources. Some reports suggest Pierce has, quote, severe character problems with claims ranging from laziness to attitude issues. An NFL executive allegedly described him as having, quote, a lot of concerns, hinting at potential red flags serious enough to drop him from draft boards. Posts on X have amplified this narrative, and users claiming he has, quote, anger issues to the point where teammates fear him. I like that. Am I the only one that likes that?
Posts on X have amplified this narrative. It's important to point that out.
Tim, I love Tim. I swear.
Users claiming he has anger issues and his teammates fear him. Do we have any teammates that have said that publicly?
Anyone on record?
Carly, rock it for us. Does he have any teammates who have spoken? All right, we need to find out. All right, so it says Tennessee staff were supposedly relieved when he declared for the draft. A high school teammate's now deleted ex-post called him crazy, adding fuel to speculation about his temperament.
I say draft a guy and get him an Uber driver. Let's go.
Hey.
Yes.
And Tim said, by the way, I'm looking for some extra cash, so call me up, James Pierce. However, these claims lack substantiation beyond hearsay. Tennessee coach Josh Heupel has defended Pierce, calling him a smart, electric player who, quote, best is still in front of him. And noting his growth and maturity over 3 years, former Tennessee quarterback Eric Ainge also dismissed the character narrative, arguing Pierce simply prefers playing football over talking to the media or others, framing it as a passion rather than a flaw. Pierce himself at Tennessee's Pro Day emphasized his positive traits, great teammate, people person, good heart, pushing back against the criticism. Eric Ainge, if you guys don't know, he does a local radio show in Knoxville. I listen to it probably a couple times a week while I'm out working. Former Tennessee quarterback. So he's kind of spoken out in defense of him too. Like you said, Tim, there's no teammates listed specifically, right? And if
some dude who played football with him in high school called him psycho or something and then deleted it, it's like nothing burger after nothing burger.
Right. It said he, in quotes, it was the craziest teammate he's ever had. Again, let's draft him.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Craziest teammate I ever. That's
he is an edge rusher, correct?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah,
guys, we're all looking at this the wrong way. Deadfish is asking the right questions. How many teammates went to his birthday party? All right,
that's what we need to know. That's the news we need.
He was the best guy around. Dude, who
Let's
in the hell is Mel Kiper anyway?
There you go.
All right. So,
what do you think about this? Jake Chavink, NFL, says Pierce to Green Bay isn't getting derailed. I saw what you did there. By those concerns, in my opinion, it's simply because of Goody's comments on what he wants with the size position, basically at the edge. He says Pierce is 245. I'm assuming he says that's a little bit light.
Yeah. Now, here's what I want to ask though. When we signed, it's probably going to be hard to find this information. Brenton Cox Jr. coming out of college, what was his weight when he left college? Because I always kind of seen him. You're right. It doesn't matter. I always kind of seen him as a borderline, like he might be a stack back or he might be a pass rusher. But again, man, are you going to – that's the problem I have with this whole height weight crap. I'm just being honest. Like, you turn on the tape with James Pierce Jr. in the SEC, he is kicking people's asses the entire game. And he only weighs 245. You telling me that dude can't put on 10 pounds, hell, 20 pounds and still be effective? Like, I don't know, man. I just have an issue with it. And we can keep doing this. We can keep going down this road and then complaining when these guys aren't hits because their measurables were the measurables were perfect, but why didn't it hit? I don't know. I just have a problem with that stuff, man. It drives me crazy. It's like the whole Chris Godwin, right? Well, Chris Godwin ain't big enough. And people were ranting and raving over a 6'1" receiver. I'm like, Chris Godwin's 6 foot tall. You're telling me 1 inch of height makes that big of a difference? That is crazy. I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm too drunk to face
I remember people saying Aaron Jones was, too light to be an effective running back in the NFL.
Exactly.
And we got many years of service out of Jonesy.
No. Yeah. Dave Garcia is saying that Cox was 250 out of Georgia. I believe he also was at Florida at one point, and he was a little undersized for sure.
Yeah. 250, 5 pounds. And what did they do? They beefed him up. And again, there's some people that roll their eyes when we always talk about Brenton Cox Jr. Now, Jacob has been like a fan of his forever. The dude graded out, a 72 PFF, and he led the team in pressure rate. Like, at some point, those people need to step back and go, Goody may have something here. And by the way,
the cheese curds are going to put those 5 pounds on right quick.
Elk
cheese curds in my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
Throw some elk stroganoff on a bowl, and he can eat it on the way over to the Don Hudson Center. That's how I
thick.
He will be thick. Darn right. It says, in short, Pierce's character concerns center on a minor legal incident, unverified claims of anger or attitude problems, and a perception of immaturity. None conclusively proven. Teams will will likely dig deeper during interviews, but as it stands, the narrative is more smoke than fire, with his draft fate hinging on how much NFL front offices trust their own vetting over the rumor mill. That's the other thing. These guys have former FBI, like literally FBI agents and stuff that work to do this behind the scenes, like private investigative work to see, especially these first, second, and third round picks to make sure, hey, we're not screwing up here, right? They dig deep into the past. So I think they're going to find out that this is a big nothing burger.
Exactly.
I think it's a long shot for the Packers to take him if he's even on the board at 23. But wherever he goes, I hope he never has one incident in the NFL, and I hope he ends up with 15 to 18 sacks a year so people can go and we can look back and go, well, he was only 245 pounds. And it's not Jake. Jake is telling the truth. This is how people look at it, right? That's how measurables are that important. You know, when we talk about the 6 players that lined up perfect for the Packers last year, like Tyron Hopper and Kitano Ladapo were 2 of the 6, and we ended up drafting them. It's because the measurables match too. So respect oranges. James Pierce Jr. doesn't refill the toilet paper roll. Right.
It's all right. We got people for that here at 1265.
Right, it'd be just fine. So there's your James Pierce Jr. deep dive. We got about 4 minutes. I don't know if we got enough time to dive into Mike Green, and it's a little, I don't want to say more serious, but it seems like there's a little more substance to it. Is it cool if we save that for tomorrow? Is that all right with you guys?
Yeesh.
Sure.
All right, let's do that. Let's save that for tomorrow. We'll also save the 3 scouting reports for the 3 players that the Packers have reportedly met with in Colston Loveland, Kenneth Grant, and Jahdae Barron. I will say this, Grok did a hell of a job on these scouting reports. Like, it really went into great detail. Probably won't be able to read the entire thing. So what else is on everyone's mind here before we wrap up? We got about 4 minutes. Anything else we didn't cover that you guys would like to hit on here before we
Did y'all, Greg? Come on, Greg. Did y'all see the video of AJ Dillon working out, doing the squats, bro? As much as, you know, obviously I was ready to kind of turn the page on him. I really sincerely hope he has a great career. And by Lord, has there ever been 2 backs in the league that have the quads these guys do? I think they'd be like, if unless you could add like Bo Jackson to that lineup, these dudes are just stacked, man.
Jacob said it looks like they dropped 2 fine hands down the back of your head.
Thick.
It is. Now, I've seen the same video.
Hey, that's one of my favorite movies of all time, by the way.
It's so good, man. What was it called?
Man. The Ladies Man.
Ladies Man.
Come on, man.
All right.
See, my car doesn't exist.
So you don't want a fish sandwich?
Wasn't he on The Office too? Wasn't it the same guy that was on The Office?
Tim Meadows.
Tim Meadows,
baby back.
Yes, exactly.
And Emilio again.
Tan almost everywhere. Jan almost everywhere.
So, anything else? Anything else y'all'd like to hit? We got 3 minutes to fill. Anything in the chat? We'll take one more question in the chat. Fire away if it hasn't already been asked.
You got to read what Drew D said he found out about this Pierce guy.
Oh, for real?
Up
Where's
at 9:16 p.m.
9:16.
Is that it, Carly?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I asked Grok how many people attended Pierce's birthday, and he said he couldn't find any information, but he's popular, and there are 8 players on the defensive line, so 7 probably attended. LOL. That's great. That's good. All right, let's see. Here we go. Here's a question. Too old for this. Did you know there are no Chili's or Hooters in or near Scranton? This is an outrage. This is an absolute outrage.
I want a bloomin' onion. Darn it.
Jake Shavink said, "Start the rumors about McMillan and Will Johnson." I heard that McMillan peed in a garbage can after midnight one night.
I heard he kicks dogs.
And then Jaden Higgins was there to run away with him and help him clean up afterwards.
Damn, Clint, they got dark.
Clint went hard.
Oh, Clint.
Wow.
All right. Seriously, anything else, guys? Greg Rice said 4 minute speed mock. Can't do it.
You hurt me, Brett.
They both pee in the shower. All right, you guys are off the rails now. When AFAM's a mature one in the chat, there's something.
Oh yeah, we're in trouble.
We gotta go.
Here's a guy.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Again, we'll get you guys information once the website's up and going, so y'all can go check it out and all that good stuff. I don't know exactly how we're going to utilize it yet. It's more of just a gateway for people to find us and find our content. But I think it's going to be awesome. And look for on the Patreon group more and more content as we move forward. We're going to have, like I said, kind of AI articles written. We're trying to deep dive stuff that matter the most to the Packers. Like we may even deep dive some camp battles, things like that, and allow AI to kind of give us some inside information there. Another thing too is like injury history on draft picks. We'll try to get you all that. So everything we covered tonight, the offensive lineman breakdown, the wide receiver breakdown from last night. I think the defensive tackles are already up on the Patreon group, so we'll get the wide receiver breakdown on there for you guys and gals. And of course, if you're a member of the Patreon group, you get access to the draft board and all that good stuff as well. So, anything else?
Coach says Hooters is going. You know what? I will protest. All right, they got great wings. I'm told.
I'm about to lose my man card right now. I have never been a Hooters fan. I don't know if it's where I grew up with.
You mean like in the morning or like all the time?
Like before they open? I don't know if it's where I grew up with Three Sisters or what, but I never got it. Like I go in there and I'm like, man, I want to have some wings and watch a ball game. Like this is creepy. Like there are 3 obese men that haven't had a shower in 5 days sitting over there talking at women. I'm like, I'm supposed to eat my wings? Like this place is sanitary? You know, I don't know, just weird. I don't know. United Base with the super chat. Hey, happy St. Patty's Day, everyone. Thanks, fellas, and Carly. Go Pack, go. How the hell we get talking Hooters on the one episode that Carly's on? That's what this is absolutely ridiculous. So, but she's one of the guys, no doubt about it.
Jeez.
Fred McFarley. Hooters and Dollar General going bankrupt. Jacob, are you going to be able to make it without Dollar General, bro?
Where are you going to eat and where are you going to shop?
I'll tell you what. I don't know. It's going to be rough.
You're ready to go.
Just going to see me in the Walmart parking lot shaking a cup like, I need some change.
All right.
You heard it from a fan right here.
Right. Everybody have a great night. We will see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central for PTA Live. I'm sorry. I apologize.
The Dollar Hooter?
And we go.
We're out.
Bye, guys.